Alright, time for the next recipe. This one is butternut squash and apple soup. This one yields 6 cups and it cooks up in 35 minutes. When the weather gets chilly, there's nothing like a comfy bowl of soup to warm you up. And lucky for you, we've got a homemade soup that's perfect for the season. Our cream butternut squash and apple soup is an easy twist on a classic butternut soup recipe that you've made your whole life. The chopped apple and a bit of cinnamon add the perfect touch of spice and sweetness. It's 4 tablespoons, that's a half a stick of butter, 4 cups of fresh cubed butternut squash, 3/4 of a cup of chopped onion, 2 apples peeled and cut into 1-inch chunks. They could be any kind of apple you choose. Gala, Golden Delicious, Macintosh, pretty much any apple. Half a teaspoon ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon ground nutmeg, half a teaspoon of salt, an eighth of a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, 3 cups of chicken broth, and a cup of half and half. Now here's what you're going to do. In a soup pot over medium heat, melt the butter, saute squash, onion, and apple 8 to 10 minutes or until squash is tender. In a small bowl, mix together the cinnamon, nutmeg, salt, and pepper, add the spice mixture to the pot, and stir to combine. Now add the broth, turn the heat to high, and bring to a boil. Cover and reduce heat to low, and simmer for 30 minutes. And very carefully pour the mixture into the blender and puree until it's all smooth. Then place the mixture back in the pot and stir in the half and half. Heat for additional 5 minutes or until everything is all heated through. We like to top these with either store-bought or homemade croutons, and if you have an immersion blender, this would be a great time to dig it out and use it, rather than having to pour this into your blender. That way, you save time, and you won't have so much of a mess to make. Well, let's thing clean up. This would be an immersion blender, always handy for a recipe like this. Butternut squash and apple soup, yeah. So, it doesn't matter how the weather is, whether it's cool outside or not, I think it would be a perfect time to try out this butternut squash and apple soup. It's really good. So log on to MrFood.com to find this recipe, and you'll love every spoonful your family, just like your family will. So that's it for this recipe. There's one more, so stay tuned for the final recipe of the night.